29 going on to 30. Today I want to talk about some recent thoughts I've been having, being 29 years old and turning 30 next year in January. I'm a 96 baby, and recently I've been having a lot of thoughts, and I want to share things that I've noticed within myself and a few things I've noticed outside of myself as a 29-year-old. And I just want to start getting into that and just do some reflection, do some thinking, and things that I've noticed about myself that I think is pretty interesting. Things I've noticed as I'm maturing, and yeah, I mean it's a trippy feeling, growing up and feeling yourself grow up. So I kind of just want to pay homage to all of these very interesting bodily changes, spiritual, mental, emotional changes going on, and talk about it. And let's get that going. So something really big recently that I've been noticing is that I've been releasing my pain body. Now, I don't know if that's maybe particular to me, or maybe that's just something that sort of happens as you approach your later 20s, but I'm finally feeling the after effects of releasing my pain body. And that was a word that actually came up to me today. And releasing my pain body is something I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. And when I say pain body, I pretty much mean, for me, all of the pain that my body has carried with me from my past. So any sort of pain that has accumulated has affected my day to day, and my well being. A big goal of mine for a really long time was to release my pain body, release all of those painful bodily experiences so that I could move forward in the world outside of my pain, outside of the things that have hurt me in the past, and sort of free myself from the pain of my past, because I want to exist and move forward, you know, healed, or fully more myself, separate from that. And I feel it now. I feel so at peace. I feel like I'm moving towards a version of myself becoming. I feel it where I'm outside of my pain body, and it feels really nice. I feel like I'm feeling myself sort of step into the person I've been really wanting to step into, and I have been, and I'm seeing the fruits, and I'm witnessing myself, and it feels really nice. So the pain body one was a really big one that I noticed recently. I feel my body feel so much more regulated, feel so much more at peace, and I've really have been nurturing, now summer 2025 in my 20s, I guess halfway through my 29s. I'm nurturing the relationship that I have with my mind, my body. More so my mind. I've struggled all my life with overthinking, and it's been a journey for me for a really long time, finding a balance, nurturing my thoughts, not pushing away my mind, but finding a way to observe my mind, observe my thoughts without getting absorbed or sucked into a rabbit hole, or sucked into a thought pattern or spiral that I don't want to be into. I'm really, really nurturing that now, where I'm reaching places through actually meditation, and really, really intentionally, really working on silencing my body and meditating as a form of regulating my body, as a form of being the awareness and noticing and observing my thoughts. It's really helping me, regulate everything going on, and it's helping me notice thought patterns early. So, notice when I'm in a thought pattern that I've been through, and notice, like, I've been through this thought pattern before. Let me, be aware of it. Let me observe it, but let me not absorb it. Let me not replay it a million times. So I'm really nurturing that part of myself, especially nowadays. I'm paying a lot of attention to my thoughts. I'm practicing, when I have a chance, sitting in silence and just like breathing, focusing on my breath if that feels wrong, focusing on the awareness of my thoughts, observing the thoughts that come through, not forcing anything, if anything, if that doesn't work, then, opening my eyes and just focusing on what's around me and looking around and breathing, looking at my body, trying to ground myself. Just trying little things. I mean, my body has been telling me, and I'm really focusing on listening to the subtleties of my body and taking that pause and shifting the boredom to peace, that sort of thing. And just really, finding security in my mind, finding security in my body. Because then in turn, I find that in finding security within myself, I find security in life externally, and I don't act out and I don't interact with people from a place of insecurity, from a place of anxiety. And I've been really, really with intention meditating on and focusing on the intention of wanting to step in, embody, really just become the most secure version of myself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. I just want to embody security. And that's really important to me right now. And I feel it, and it feels really nice. I feel the effects of it because it just feels really great, because it feels like a lot of things tie in together. So you feel like, you're affirming your self-worth. You're affirming your value. You're reminding yourself of like all the reasons why you should be feeling secure, because, you have everything you need. And that way you find that things just flow a lot nicely. You don't feel like you need anything. You feel like you just want things, and you just would like things to happen. You don't feel this need to kind of hold on for dear life to things outside of yourself. And that sort of thing is what I'm really focusing on right now. And it feels really great. And really focusing on, that sort of intention has been really great, and what I've been noticing recently in my mid-29s. Then leaning into that, I find that in finding that security with myself, I'm then able to exist more within my throat chakra externally. So I'm able to speak my truth. I'm able to act out on my truth. I'm able to just exist in my truth, and my communication has improved significantly within these past few weeks. I've noticed myself just being able to just communicate more effectively, being able to find the words, just having adult conversations with people and having hard conversations that I would have never had before, or I would have been too scared of, or conversations that I just surprised myself that I would have, and just bringing up hard topics just because it's just, necessary, and feeling secure enough to communicate the hard stuff, communicate, things that have to be communicated, and reminding myself that, there are ways to say things gently and kindly, and that if you say something and you do something from a place of love and security, then whatever you say, whatever you do, it's going to be well received. And if it's not, then you did the best you could, you know what I mean? The only thing that matters is your intention when you're putting out that energy. So I've been really tapping into my throat chakra a lot, and just speaking my truth and finding the words, and just, finding security in myself, and finding the security to just be honest with others, and having conversations a lot sooner. I find that recently I've been able to process my feelings a lot faster. Before, it used to take me a long time to process my emotions before I felt ready to talk, or before I felt ready to understand how I felt. I've noticed recently that processing time has shortened, and I find that I'm able to process how I feel about things, and process my headspace a lot quickly, and I'm able to speak on things and how I feel more soonly than I would have before, which is pretty sweet. So yeah. But yeah, a lot of the other stuff is just noticing patterns a lot earlier, thought patterns, actions, and having the security and the notice to just take that pause and know what I want to lean into, what I don't. Choosing everything that I'm doing with intention just makes me feel so much at peace and just more in the flow intentionally. Because I think the thing is with being in the flow, that's Miranda Cosgrove. Miranda. The thing with being in the flow that I think is easy to miss is to be in the flow, there has to be a level of intention. So I find that now, with all of these intentions that I have for myself, all of these goals for myself, all of this becomingness, this peace that I'm finding, slowing down, really focusing on my breath, on just regulating myself, I'm finding that I'm able to just flow a lot more nicely because I know that where I'm flowing is I'm flowing down a path that just aligns with where I do want to go. Like, it's not like I'm blindly flowing. I think it's easy to think that, like, to go with the flow, you sort of have to just go into it blindly and just trust and close your eyes. You know, that's not, it doesn't have to be the case. I think part of being and flowing is setting intentions, having an idea of, like, really what you're looking for, kind of where you want to be, you know, and then trusting, you know, just flowing and kind of figuring that out. So I think I'm sort of figuring that out right now. A lot of trial and error, a lot of me listening to my body. There are days, though, where I'm like, you know, body, I don't know what's going on. You got to help me out here because I don't know what you're trying to tell me. There are moments where I'm like, I'm feeling a little funny. I got to sit on this. I don't know where this feeling's coming from. And then I sit and sit. And then sometimes, you know, you figure it out. Sometimes the feeling goes away. Sometimes I can't figure it out. And I'm having a really hard time. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. You got to help me out here. And then I think over time, I mean, maybe hopefully you figure it out. But I'm trying to learn my body, really nurture that relationship with my mind, not push it away, really find that balance, find that peace. I know, like, I've realized over time that this is all like lifelong work. It's like a constant thing, you know, like working out. You're gonna just always be working out, and it's something that you love to do. It's something that I love to do, and that I feel really committed to doing because it feels really nice. Like, it feels really good when you do feel like everything. When you have that moment where it feels like everything is just in the right place, you know, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, like everything just feels good, you know? And you feel that moment. It's brief sometimes, but there are moments where you just feel it. You're like, whoa, I feel really good right now. And you're like, oh my God, this feels really good. And you're just sitting there smiling at yourself because you're like, this feels really nice. And that feeling comes from just like, for that really special moment, every part of your beingness aligning, you know? And the part that I'm trying to really hone is trying to keep that feeling as long as I can. Cause, you know, I think with patience and just like, you know, slowing down, you could feel it kind of testing the waters, playing hot and cold. You kind of figure out, like, trying to piece together the puzzle. It's really kind of like a puzzle, kind of figuring out the puzzle of how to keep that nice feeling of alignment going for as long as you can. Because when you feel it, it's a feeling you want to hold on to. And that's the feeling that's really getting me going into wanting to continue focusing on meditation, because when I meditate, it helps me kind of get into that feeling of alignment. And it's like the best feeling, my dude. Like, I can't really tell you. I'm getting the tingles right now. Like, it just feels so nice. And it's something that I strive to feel every day. So meditation kind of helps with figuring that puzzle out for yourself. And it's something that I've noticed recently. But generally in life, I feel really good. I feel really good. I feel really nice. I feel really secure. During the moments where maybe it's being tested, maybe I'm going through a thought that I'm like, oop, this is going to be a tough one, or an anxiety, or any of that. I just remind myself, you know, I want to be the most secure person I possibly can. I want to step into security. I want to feel like my most secure self. I want to do that. It's really important to me. And just keep reminding myself the importance of really just becoming the most secure version of myself. Because if I can be the most secure version for myself, then that just benefits me. And I know that I'm just going to be such a secure, and I'm just such a secure person. I'm just going to invite like the relationships that I want in my life, you know? And it just doing that just helps you with so many areas, you know? It helps you slow down. It helps you be patient. It helps you enjoy the slower days. It really just helps you, you know, navigate situations a lot more nicely. So doing that is really nice. But yeah, those affirmations really help. When I notice myself kind of getting absorbed into a specific thought, then I try to take a step back and kind of go through my list of affirmations to myself. I like sit down, I'm like, okay, breathe. I am the awareness of my thoughts. I am the awareness of my thoughts. Observe, do not absorb. Observe, do not absorb. And kind of saying different phrases that you feel like can help you come out of that hole that you're in, of that cycle, you know? And for me right now, that's what really helps. Reminding myself who I want to become, security, and also reminding myself that I am the awareness of my thoughts. And also what helps with this for me is when I'm having a kind of like a tough time, I turn on a podcast, I put on some YouTube, and I look up, you know, videos of people that I look up to on the internet, people I look up to who are thought leaders in the spiritual and the science space. And I look to these people for them to talk. So I was listening to one the other day. A great podcast I just discovered is one called Know Thyself. The guy's really awesome. He's very intelligent. He just invites very smart people who are just very critically, they're just great critical thinkers, and like they just perfectly align so many different topics that you would think are separate, and they find ways to find the language to just make things make sense, and it just feels very affirming. I saw one about a woman, a doctor, talking about the gap between who you are now and who you want to become. And oftentimes, unhappiness comes from people believing that there is a gap between who you want to be and who you are. And you believing that there's a gap makes you feel unhappy because it feels like who you want to become is not really that attainable. Versus if you believe that you are already on your way to being who you want to become and just being, then you believe that, you know, those two circles are overlapping. And in believing that, it makes you feel like, you know, you're already on your way. So you don't feel unhappy. You feel like good. You feel like you're on the right track. So it's kind of like it speaks on so much. It speaks on shifting mindset, shifting perspective, being grateful for what you have, finding all of the positives, and just really finding whatever affirmations you need to get you feeling good about where you are now and where you want to be, and getting into that flow state. I also saw another podcast about Eckhart Tolle, The New Earth. The New Earth is one of my favorite books. I should probably read it again. It's so good. I saw him speak on it with Oprah on a podcast that they did last week, which is pretty funny because it's actually one of my favorite books, and they filmed it like 8 days ago or something. And it was also very affirming. It just made me remember how I'm on the right track and how I know everything that I need to know, and how, you know, it just made me feel good. It made me feel like, you know, I'm doing all the right things, and I just gotta trust the process. I just have to wait. I just have to be patient, and I just gotta keep doing me, keep focusing on where I want to go, where I want to be, and just be myself, be my authentic self. Don't care about how I should be showing up. Just show up the way I want to show up, and you know, that's it. So it was affirming in that way, and that felt really nice. So yeah, also the cool thing about noticing that you're the awareness of your thoughts is like when you have a thought, it's kind of like you take that pause. So then you're kind of putting that space between you wanting to do something, and then you're like, let me take a step back. And then you're giving enough space for you to decide not to do it. So a great example is like social media. So if you get the sudden impulse to be like, ooh, maybe I should go on my phone. If you notice like, oh, a thought, let me pause, then that pause gives you a chance to just like think about like if you really actually want to pick up your phone or if you're just doing it out of like an impulse, you know what I mean? So it's nice for that too. But that's kind of like all the big points I'm pretty kind of really touching on now in my 29s that I think is pretty cool. I mean, I feel pretty sweet. Another affirmation I like to think about is just how much time we have. I know you never know what's going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, time, all we got is time. And you could either view that from a negative place or from a positive place. So I try to tell myself when I'm really feeling really anxious, when I'm feeling impatient, when I'm like, damn, I really want this to happen right now, I tell myself, listen, time is all I have. I could wait. It's okay. There's tomorrow, there's next week, there's next month. If you think about 3 years ago, or how far you've come, how far things have changed in 3 years, how much things have changed in 4 months, in 3 months, a lot can change. And like things happen, you know. And all we have is time. And if you give something some time, it could surprise you, you know. Let life surprise you. I've learned to not hold on to something that I want so tightly. I am learning to let things go, to just focus on the better good of myself and where I want to be, and trust that if I want something and the reason that I want it is for good reason, trusting that time will be kind to me and time will reward me with me putting my focus and me putting my energy in the things that are gonna set me up for success for when what I do want maybe does come back around or sets me up to be in a really confident and a really secure place to be ready to receive the things that I do want, you know? Because you don't want to be in this energy of like, you desire, you want to hold on, you want to hold on. Because when you get the thing that you want so badly, you won't know how to hold it. You won't know how to keep it because you are so busy chasing, wanting it that you didn't put any time or effort to build the foundation that would help you keep it, you know? It's one thing to want something and you get it. It's another thing to not be able to hold it once you get it. And I think when you chase and you desire something too badly, you forget that you need to build a place that can hold what you want, you know? And when you place your focus on building that foundation of creating a space that will hold all of the things that you do desire instead of focusing so obsessively on what you desire will come. It's kind of, you use the analogy of like if you want to attract a butterfly to your garden, you're not going to go to the street and chase a butterfly. You're not going to be like trying to catch a butterfly. It's not the most effective way to catch a butterfly. The best way to catch a butterfly is to build a beautiful garden and to stop focusing on catching the butterfly. Just set the intention like, okay, I would like a butterfly. How can I get a butterfly? Okay, let me focus on building a foundation, building a space that will invite that butterfly to come to me naturally. So it wants to come and I'm not forcing it. I'm not disrupting a flow. I'm not messing with the laws of nature, you know? So you build a beautiful garden and the butterflies will naturally come to you. You can apply that to yourself. If you focus on what, like, just building the most secure version of yourself, focus on your intentions, on your goals, on like building the flourishing garden that is yourself and your insides, and just really setting your intentions on all of the places that will just fulfill you inside of your soul, then you will find that the things that you want, you don't have to chase after so bad. They're just going to come without you even thinking about it, because you created a space within yourself that was able to hold all of those things when they came across. And yeah, so I'm learning that. I'm really stepping into that, and it feels really, really nice, because I can't tell you, all of my life, the biggest thing I've struggled with, letting go, holding on, and wanting things so badly, and then once I get it, not knowing how to hold on to it. Because there have been times where I've been pretty blessed and lucky, where I've wanted something really badly, and I got it. But when I got it, I didn't know how to hold on to it, because I was too focused on wanting it so badly that when I got it, it felt so good, but I didn't know how to keep it. I didn't know how to hold it, because I just wasn't prepared. I got it too soon. I got it too early. So I'm learning now. These were all beautiful lessons where I'm really focusing on creating a space where I'm able to hold all of the things that I do want. So when I do receive it, when it does come, that I'm able to take care of it and keep it, and it's happy, and I'm not disrupting the laws of nature. I'm not forcing something to stay. Everything is happening because it wants to be there, and it's meant to be there, and it's all in equilibrium, and it's all in balance. So that was a really big one that I'm happy that I remembered, that I wanted to talk about. So I think and me thinking about my 30s and me turning 30, I'm not someone who really focuses on age too much. I just feel really good, and maybe part of that is a privilege because I have like a baby face. I look pretty young, but I just feel very young-spirited. I feel like I have so much life inside me that I'm not too worried about my age. I think life is so abundant. There's so many years, and I think life is a beautiful, magical thing to experience, and I just feel really excited. I think when you step into this feeling of just having this goal of making sure that every part of you is striving to be in alignment and in flow, and you know, you're inviting what you want through setting intention and through just listening, and following your gut and kind of making sure everything just really touches and ties into together, and releasing your pain body, and taking a look at all this stuff and all this stuff and all this stuff and all this stuff. I mean, like you'll know what you got to focus on. It's a lot of stuff, but you'll know what feels right. But working on all that stuff will really help aging. And I think for me thinking about stepping into my 30s, I'm not scared about anything. I'm not worried. I'm not overwhelmed, because I know that whatever's going to happen, I'm going to be happy with. And it's going to be something that is going to make me feel good, because I'm setting a stage for that. And I'm making sure that who I am and who I want to become is overlapping, because I'm already part of that becomingness. There's no gap. There is no unhappiness, because I'm already on my way, because every day I'm doing little bits of pieces to get me to becoming and get me attracting the things that I do kind of want, the things that I do envision, the things that would feel really cool if they happened, the people, the experiences, all that sort of thing. So that feels really special. And it definitely helps with any anxieties that I notice externally that could be felt when one is reaching their end of their 20s. So yeah, and that's all I'm going to say. I just want to talk about some of my 29 and going on to 30 thoughts, and how it feels really nice to just, lean into radical acceptance. And you have control. I think there's a misconception that you gotta let go of control, you gotta release, you gotta just fully release the wheel and let the car drive itself. And that's not the case. You have control. You just gotta understand where you have control and understand where you don't have control, and put your attention in all the areas where you do have control, and accept all the areas that you just don't, because there is control. Like, you don't have to relinquish full control of your life. Like, there are things you can control. You can control the experiences you accept. You can control your intentions. You can control, there's a lot of things that you can control. you just can't control the outcomes. You just can't control other people. You can't control what's going to happen tomorrow, but you can control what you say right now. You can control what you do right now. You can control the choices you make right now. And yeah, I think accepting that and just telling yourself that, like, when in doubt, just relax. And that's totally fine. And then, I mean, that's cool. Just a lot of everything, you know. So I think I don't want to ramble on too much, but that's all I wanted to say. And I hope you have a pretty sweet night. And Miranda says, peace out. I don't know why I keep doing this. I hope you have a pretty good night. Me and iCarly say good night. And see you later.